On December the 14th, Andrew Tate unexpectedly confronted Jake Paul in the streets, and it was a sight to behold. At an event, Jake, always eager for attention, ran his mouth, likely thinking he could stir up some drama without consequences. Maybe he assumed it was just another playful exchange, a bit of trash talk to keep things interesting. But what he failed to realize was that this wasn't the safety of a boxing ring. There were no cameras rolling for a promo, and it certainly wasn't scripted like WWE. This was real, raw, and unfiltered.
Jake Paul. Jake, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money pressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck out of you.
Andrew Tate, calm and composed as ever, approached Jake Paul in a way only he could. He had no interest in exchanging words or engaging in a pointless back and forth. He was there to make a statement, loud and clear. You don't run your mouth about Andrew Tate and walk away without consequences.
This clown on the fucking internet. If you want to fight, you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate.
In that fleeting moment, Jake must have realized this wasn't just another YouTube stunt. No punches had been thrown yet, but Andrew Tate's sheer presence was enough to shake his confidence. For a split second, the bravado faded, and you could almost see the realization dawn on Jake's face. Wait, this guy's serious.
2 brothers, 1 cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
don't worry about it. No, I can't lie.
Well, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now.
We all know there's history between Jake Paul and Andrew Tate, and this goes beyond the usual YouTube versus social media star rivalry. This is personal, or at least as personal as it gets when two highly self-assured, if not outright arrogant, figures collide, both of whom have built their empires on commanding attention. But sometimes, the spotlight burns a little too bright, and that's when things erupt. Andrew isn't in it for the money. He's already sitting comfortably on $710 million. What's really on the line here is respect. Now, let's break down what went down. The real tension began when Jake Paul, fresh off boxing a handful of lower-tier fighters, and no, we're not diving into the debate over whether those were real challenges, started name-dropping big opponents for his next bout. Enter Mike Tyson. Now, Tyson is a legend, the kind of fighter you don't just call out unless you're either extremely confident or enough to believe you stand a chance. Jake, ever the opportunist, was banking on the hype, but Tyson, he wasn't having it. See, for Jake, it was all about the spectacle. He wasn't just looking for a fight. He was chasing the kind of matchup that would skyrocket his fame and rake in millions from ticket sales and pay-per-views. And what better way to do that than by challenging a living legend? The problem: 3 weeks ago, Venture, the unknown commented that Andrew Tate would knock Jake into next year, and, well, they weren't entirely wrong. Tyson, a former heavyweight champion with a cemented legacy, wasn't interested in the circus. He'd been around long enough to recognize a publicity stunt when he saw one, and he wasn't about to play along. That left Jake scrambling, still needing a big name to keep up with his own bravado. And that's when Andrew Tate saw his opening. Tate wasn't just watching Jake challenge legends, he saw a kid avoiding real competition. And if there's one thing Tate can't stand, it's fake toughness. With multiple kickboxing championships to his name, he's no stranger to combat sports, even if boxing isn't his primary arena. More importantly, he's built a reputation as a no-nonsense fighter who speaks his mind. And let's be real, this entire Jake Paul saga was practically begging for Tate to step in. So, naturally, he did. But Tate's challenge wasn't subtle. This wasn't some charity exhibition, nor was it a friendly sparring match like Jake's previous fights. No, this was about something much bigger: money, serious money, and most of all, respect.
He'll never do that, though. He knows, though. He knows way.
One, he's under contract, and two,
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might
And
say,
it's funny to say, like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul. Well,
Andrew Tate, who, as mentioned earlier, is comfortably sitting on $710 million, wasn't chasing fame. He already had that. He wasn't in it for the money either. What he did have, however, was a point to prove. Jake Paul, a self-proclaimed boxing sensation, had been handpicking fights with legends while conveniently sidestepping real competition. For Tate, this wasn't just about winning another fight. It was about putting Jake in his place. He wanted the world to see that he, not Jake, was the one with real combat experience, the one who had actually earned his reputation in the fight game. This wasn't about clout or a payday. Tate was stepping into the ring not for money, not for fame, but to expose Jake, to show him, and the world, the stark difference between talk and
I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes all. I'm 5 years out the ring. I'm a kickboxer.
And how much was this fight worth? Oh, no big deal. Just a casual $50 million. That's right, $50 million. Imagine the spectacle. In one corner, Jake Paul, the social media king who's been turning boxing matches into multi-million-dollar events. In the other, Andrew Tate, a decorated kickboxing champion with millions of followers and even more millions in his bank account. Tate wasn't just another contender, he was a seasoned fighter, sharpening his skills long before Jake ever laced up a pair of gloves. For him, this wasn't about cashing in on the hype. This was about proving who the real fighter was. With a net worth of $710 million, Tate had the luxury of choosing any fight, or simply walking away to enjoy his wealth. Instead, he chose this one, and that spoke volumes.
But let's say he would call you to fight. Would you take it?
Yeah, I mean, Jake and I actually talk. He's an all right guy. There was a time we were talking about fighting each other, and I think if this arrest didn't happen, it probably would have come to fruition. We'll see what happens in this.
Let's talk about Jake Paul for a moment because, well, he's Jake Paul, and with him, you can always count on one thing: he'll never stop talking. After Andrew Tate's challenge, Jake didn't back down. Oh no, he did exactly what Jake Paul does best: run his mouth. He couldn't resist taking jabs at Tate, questioning his fighting skills, and throwing out more insults like they were second nature. And let's be real, Jake's style of trash talk isn't exactly refined. According to him, Tate's just a washed-up fighter, trying to stay relevant. In one of his many Instagram rants, Jake boldly declared, "This guy's nothing but an internet personality. I'm the future of boxing, and I'm going to crush him." There it was. The classic Jake Paul move. He called Andrew Tate washed up, just like he had with every other fighter, who didn't immediately fall in line. But if we're being honest, was that a smart move? Probably not. Andrew Tate wasn't going to take that lightly, and Jake should be known better. Tate isn't the type to sit back when his reputation is questioned, and with his deep roots in combat sports, he knows exactly how to make a statement. But Jake, true to form, couldn't help himself. The more Jake ran his mouth, the deeper he dug. The world watched as Tate calmly responded, daring Jake to step into the ring. Jake, however, kept firing back from his Twitter throne. And as you can imagine, things quickly escalated. Jake was about to learn a crucial lesson. You don't trash talk Andrew Tate without expecting serious consequences. Then came Floyd Mayweather. The undefeated boxing legend watched from the sidelines like a disappointed parent. And when Jake rejected Tate's challenge like it was an overdue bill, Floyd didn't hold back. He didn't just call Jake out, he tore him apart. He accused Jake of being a cherry picker, only willing to fight opponents he's sure he can beat. Let's be real, Floyd wasn't wrong. Jake's fights have always been more about creating viral moments and YouTube highlights than proving himself as a true boxer.
Tend to keep those guards down, but can't see at that point.
The scuffle didn't last long. It didn't need to. The point was made. Jake Paul, the brash, cocky social media star, who had been running his mouth for so long, was finally face to face with someone who wasn't afraid to shut him down. And that's exactly what happened. The media exploded, with headlines blaring Andrew Tate attacks Jake Paul, and the internet had a field day with the moment. But here's the thing, Tate wasn't out to destroy Jake Paul. He didn't need to. He already had. What mattered was the lesson Jake Paul learned the hard way: what happens when you mess with the wrong person. Andrew Tate attacking Jake Paul on the streets wasn't just another celebrity incident. it was a statement. And if you're Jake Paul, there's a hard truth you've got to face. Respect isn't something you just talk your way into. It's something you have to earn. So the next time you start throwing insults around, maybe think twice before it's someone like Andrew Tate who's there to remind you how fragile that confidence really is.